Hey, what's going on, CoinUp TV subscribers? Robert Welton here. Another Shaw Brothers review. This time it is with new One-Armed Swordsman from 1971, directed by Chang Cheh. I'm going to give my letter grade and some spoilers in this. This movie is also known as Triple Irons. I've never heard of that name being used before, but in my research, that's what popped up. I watched it in the ShawScope Volume 3. It was a first-time watch for me, or at least I think it's a first-time watch. When I was watching this movie, I was thinking, okay, I've seen this bridge, and I've seen David Chiang, and I've seen some of the stuff happening in Lung. Have I seen this movie before? I don't know. I think the bridge was in like another movie, and I was having some deja vu moments when I was watching it, but I'm gonna think that it was my first time watching it. Now, I have seen the first two One-Armed Swordsman movies, One-Armed Swordsman and Return, and I reviewed those, so check that out. This is kind of like the third in a series, I guess, or it's not really a series at this point. It's kind of like a reimagining, revamp, revisioning, I don't know. But let me get to my notes. I'm rambling right off the start of the video. You've already clicked off if I've started rambling this much, right? IMDb notes. Okay, on IMDb it says, a devious martial arts master targets young, talented swordsmen and makes a wager that whoever loses should cut off their arm, then surprises them with a secret technique they cannot counter. One of his previous victims has had enough. It's a little bit of a messy synopsis there, but it kind of tells you a little bit about what's going on. This stars the great David Chiang, the great Lung, the great Ku Feng, and many other notable Shaw Brothers martial artists there. But we've got like the, I guess this is like an Iron Triangle movie, right? Yeah, Lung, David Chiang, and Chang Cheh. How come this wasn't on the Iron Triangle box set from Shaw Factory, huh? Anybody wonder about that? Okay. My notes here. Pretty fine film, surprisingly more enjoyable than the previous two One-Armed Swordsman films with Jimmy Wang Yu. I gotta put that out there. I don't know if everybody thinks that or not. I was pretty blown away by the two One-Armed Swordsman movies with Jimmy Wang Yu, but this one is the best. It's like the third's the charm. I don't know, the magic formula is here. It's a really great showcase for David Chiang, which if you've subscribed or you've seen a lot of my videos, you know that I'm a little on the fence with David Chiang with his body structure. I always thought it's a hard sell for him as a martial artist, but I think in this movie, with one arm, he sells it well, and I'm convinced. I'm convinced that he can like flip dudes over and beat them up with one arm. So I actually wrote in my notes here, I've criticized in the past for a slender physique, but in this movie, yeah, he uses gimmicks and his agility to sell the one-arm thing. See, it's funny. I have the notes up there, and then I have the thoughts in my head. Sometimes they're just like countering, right? You know, not so much countering, but they're going both at the same time. Okay, so let's do some pros and cons. Let's keep it simple. Con. Ku Feng's use of the three-sectional staff. Now, I love Ku Feng. I love the three-sectional staff, but something seems off with his use of the three-sectional staff as a weapon in this movie. It's a tough thing to use, and I watched like an interview with him on the disc there, and he was talking about how difficult it was, and it shows up on camera. So things aren't as fluid. You can see when he's wrapping around his body or trying to catch it or swinging around, sometimes he's actually missing and catching it a second time, things like that the editing should have tried to like hide a little better. But the thing that's a little odd was they did this gag where like he's holding it out, the three-sectional staff, which is in three pieces, and he's holding it out straight like a bow staff, and it's defying logic and physics and gravity. I know Ku Feng's supposed to be a martial arts master, but how does homeboy keep that three-sectional staff out straight like a bow staff? It makes no sense to me. Please explain it to me. Enlighten me in the comments. What am I missing there? Some Jedi mind tricks at work here. So yeah, I wrote in my notes here. Yeah, his choreography with them isn't as smooth, and you can see him struggling with the poles. Okay, so that's a con. Here's another con, is how limited Lung's fighting scenes are in this movie. You can't have Lung, one of the greats, in your movie and only have him in like a handful of fights. I realize that this is a David Chiang movie, but that's a con for me. Could have had a scene maybe with Lung before arriving into town, doing something heroic with like a short fight scene before he gets into town. That would have been like a nice way to add something more to the equation. Sorry, my notes are my iPad here on my TV are getting a little funky, so I'm messing with that. So that's a note in the con there. Okay, there's a funny running gag where I don't know if it's funny or like a dramatic running gag where David Chiang tries to tell T. Lung about Ku Feng's secret move. But T. Lung keeps blowing him off. I guess this is kind of a con, right? It seems like martial arts experts, when they're sitting around, talking, hanging out, bromancing, they would talk about the villains or the competitors' finishing moves. And I thought that was like a strange thing that T. Lung was like, no, don't tell me. I don't want to know how he does a secret move. I get that that's a gag that they're doing in the movie, that he's going to be caught off guard, but there was another way to do that. He could have been interrupted. Security guards could have showed up, or a fight could have ensued or something, but he literally like stops David Chiang from telling him about the secret move. That seemed a little sus. So, okay, let's go to some pro, because I did say this movie was great, right? I enjoyed it. I just thrown out some cons there, but pro, visually stunning, great shots of the bridge, the city landscape, even the fake forest early in the movie looks better than normal fake forest. The setup is a little different style than most of the director Chang Cheh's other movies, with a sense of melancholy. I don't know if it was the music, the way it was shot, but the way this starts off, it seemed like it was going to be like a gothic horror movie or something. I was just like, ooh, I'm getting sucked in here. There's bad stuff that's going to happen. There was like a good taste that was put in my mouth that really set the tone to kick things off. So the great Chang Cheh, he delivered there. Another pro, the romance between David Chiang and Chang Li, something I was curious about. I wrote in here, Chang Cheh doesn't really do a lot of romance. His romance is kind of like bromance with the men friending together and fighting, bonding and fighting. So it was very interesting to see a romance scene here with David Chiang and Chang Li, boy and a girl having a romance, and it was well done. It was like the meet cute worked out well. She felt sorry for him, but he had to be honorable and stick to his guns. And props to Chang Cheh, because he did a convincing job with the love stories, what I wrote in my bullet point notes here. Overall, a fine film, clever story, easy to follow, great choreography and stunts, super bloody, high death toll, all-out battle at the end. I don't know if they built the bridge specifically for this movie, but there's a big giant fight scene on the bridge, and a couple times people like falling off the bridge and the stunts. I was just like, how are they doing these stunts in the 70s? How did anybody volunteer? I'm sure legs, arms, shoulders, things were broken. I think the commentary, let's talk about the disc here. I think Brian Bankston, does have one or two commentaries? We got, Brian Brankston was talking about how one of the guys in the beginning, I think he hurt his collarbone when he jumped off a horse. And I was just like, yes, I felt that pain there. Beautiful transfer from 2K. We got, commentaries. Oh yeah, this has, let's see, new One-Armed Swordsman commentary, Brian Bankston. Some trailers. Let me flip this around so you can see the artwork there. You don't have ShawScope Volume 3. I don't know what you're doing. You got to pick it up. You got to pick up all of them. ShawScope's Volume 1, 2, and 3. Okay, let's get to the letter grade. New One-Armed Swordsman from 1971, directed by Chang Cheh. I'm going to give it a B+. I was originally thinking like A-, but then I was writing my notes, and I was like, well, there are some cons. So it's not, it's almost there. If I rewatch this again in the future, I may bump it up to like an A- or an A. I don't know. I enjoyed it a lot. That's the letter grade I'm going to go with, B+. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments below. For CoinApp TV, we will see you next time.